Okay, so even though a little bit of everything is the name,
Mm.
there are some things that have been coming up in our conversations that we would like to discuss today and maybe bring the viewers into a conversation as well, because there's something going on in the culture that certain things are becoming outdated and there needs to be a new perspective and new paradigm for us to move forward into something new, something better, and something healthy. So today I would like to kind of stay between two main topics. That's self-care and self-regulation,
Hmm.
and connection and co-regulation with others. And we're going to discuss certain movements in society that seem to be pretty problematic, that are dominating that sphere, especially in the dating world. We're going to talk about taking care of yourself and what you specifically practice, what I try to practice. And then we want to hear from the viewers what you guys do for your self regulation. We're going to talk about nervous system, we're going to talk about mental health, um, a little bit of everything, basically.
Yeah, let's get it
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so we were talking. Oh my God.
We went around the
Tell
world.
me if I read to accountability, growth, relationship with food, recovery, Ozempic, skinny, praise, ice cream, states, jealousy of healthy, what?
It's
Health,
just,
nervous system,
I think that's when you start the
abortions,
abortions.
grounding, 8 years sober, drinking, hangover, work, helping people.
It sounds like a giant menu. I'll take drinking and I'll take abortion with a side order of what?
Maryland story. I have Maryland story here. A little bit of everything. Okay, so literally a
A little
little
bit of
bit of
everything.
everything.
This is what we're going
You
for.
weren't lying. This is really, we're living up to the name. Okay, so maybe you can share a little bit about your realization about what works for self-regulation and tell your story a little bit, and then we're going to jump into co-regulation and connection with other humans.
Actually, what goes with self-regulating for me personally is taking what I've been using now is slowing down,
Mm.
is really slowing down and understanding where I'm at. Because our world, no matter where we are now, especially through these times, people are really fast and accelerating even more. And also, too, with a side order, I'm pissed off and I'm frustrated. So I have my own run of the cycle. Like I got to get to work. I got to do this. I got to get the kids. I got to go to the gym. I got to somehow get everything. I got to remember to eat.
Yeah.
But still, we're still on this hamster wheel, but it's going faster. I've took myself out and said I need to slow down a great deal. When I needed my schedule for work has changed from night to morning, but also too, when I work, I just go to work, do my job, even pace myself with my job because I work with kids, but also, just be in the moment and take breaks for myself. But some people find that it can be difficult too, because things come up. But with also to the about the phone, the do you not to be a distraction by the phone, put that aside because that is distraction, and just be a moment with the kids or with my job, what's going on, and also when I take a break, I break. I'm not lying. I break the shit out of my breaks. I come back 15 minutes late.
But
I,
you break.
but I break. But I needed that extra 15, extra 5 because it's needed for me to regulate my emotions and stuff.
So then you can show up fuller, more present.
You can show up fuller, show up as best as you can,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But also too, because, like I said, because of the climate of where we are today in the world, it's a hard thing. No one can deny it because you can't escape the chatter, what's going around, the energy that's going around. And you need to, okay, when can I go and have time for myself? And I need this time for myself. But I have to slow myself down. And on the weekends, and actually when I get home from work, either go to the gym, go take a walk, go meditate, regulate myself more, and just try to take those moments to really take care of myself. definitely stick my feet in some grass, barefoot all day if I can. But when my shoes are off, just barefoot around my house, but barefoot around outside and everything like that, because it helps me get grounded with nature as much as possible. Yeah.
Nice. You're some of the calmest people I know. So that's why I wanted you to share some of your perspective because the world is chaotic. You are very right. And your energy right now is very calm, very grounded. You have been always, ever since I've met you, even while you were working night shifts, because you've already done so much work with yourself. But I feel like, especially now, you are even more chill,
I appreciate that.
more in your body, taking your time, prioritizing yourself. I am very happy to see that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And somebody asked me about, well, what's your secret? I said, honestly, back of my head, suppose you can't. I don't give a shit. To be honest, you really have to put everything else on the side and say,
Yeah,
I gotta really be with me right now.
yeah,
And what part of me do I want to be with?
yeah.
And coming from my background, as being an alcoholic in recovery, I have to be with me
Yeah.
a great deal.
And it's revolutionary for you as well as for many people because we're so conditioned go, 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 others, others, others.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, just to say no, I'm sorry, I have plans. What plans do you have? With me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? With me.
I
That's it.
love myself. I
Oh,
love the
that's nice.
shit out of myself.
I need a mug like that.
There
I
should be a
love the
mug
shit out of
coming
myself.
soon.
Okay, so you touched on alcohol and recovery. What was the turning point for you where you were like, okay, I need to take care of myself before I can do anything else? Was there like a rock bottom moment? Because sometimes things have to get bad before they get better, right? For some people.
Sometimes, yeah, it has to get bad to get better. But the thing is with this, I've always wanted this. I saw myself actually getting, being sober,
Mm,
having a very clear, active life. Even though I was, at a point, it's like getting up hungover, staying out of work and drinking and stuff like that. I saw myself, but it was at that point I got and this was in 2017. I got in a fight with my roommate, and I lived on the East Coast, and we just got knocked it out. And a lot of screaming and stuff like that. And the next morning, I just got up and I just took a walk and went to the gym. The ironic thing is, I had a gym membership. I worked at a gym part time. Never actually went to, the membership.
never used it.
Never used
Yeah.
it. Never used it at all. But then again, that was the turning point. I just did that, and I just went, and that was February 11th, 2017.
Hmm.
And the only thing I just cut out. I cut out the people that weren't were a bad influence. I stayed to myself. I reduced my work because I worked I did the gym part time as work, but I also did case management as well. I worked with homeless population as case manager. So I did all this stuff and I cut it down, and I just spent time with myself. If I wasn't at the gym, I was at home reading. I was just, that was the first year, just cutting everything out. The
Yeah,
first year
you
was,
needed to detox in a
yeah,
way. Yeah.
physically to detox myself, mentally to get
Hmm.
myself together. The emotional piece is always ongoing,
Yeah.
no matter where you are, because you're playing catch up with your emotions. Just say I think I was in, maybe I was 46
Hmm.
age chronically, but emotionally, I was a 24-year-old, 23 and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, that mismatch is you had to bridge the gap.
You have to, but you also, your feelings, your emotions, and you're dysregulated, how much how your nervous system is, and how you feel when you don't get something instant gratification, and if something goes haywire, you want to retreat right back to your old
Yeah.
habits. These things do happen. So you have to rewire everything of how you think. But now we're not thinking about more of what your thought process is one thing, but how are you doing emotionally? You're
Mm-hmm.
not you're a train wreck. You're
Yeah.
definitely a train wreck.
Especially in the beginning, I feel like it's the hardest
Oh
part
yeah,
just to make it through.
you're like a teenager going through your hormones in a bad way.
All over
You're
again.
all over the damn place. You're just, jeez. You are. You definitely are. And think about and I'm just taking alcoholism, and we all can have the same symptoms and everything we do, but we all have different layers in how we can deal with it, and we come in the gate differently too. I've heard of people say you're a gray alcoholic. I've heard some people say that. I was like, well, you're kind of on the sense, and but you're that close of like teeter tottering, you
Did you say
know,
great alcohol?
a
Gray.
gray,
Oh, gray alcohol.
gray
Mm-hmm.
alcoholic. Like you're this close, teeter tottering on the edge to being a
Mm.
severe alcoholic.
Mm.
And I could say, I could have been, but I don't. But there are some people who are severely alcoholics. Like they're just drinking it like water.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
serious stage.
you're just knocking it back. And I think at that, I can think at times in my drinking times, I was that. I could start off with like 4 or 5 beers, and the percentage of those beers are like 9.9%. That's a high percentage, and then go straight to whiskey
Mm.
and drink a pint of that.
Hard to imagine that with you
I
now.
know a lot of people say, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
It's like, nah,
I've met you when you were already in
yeah,
recovery, so now it's just hard to imagine.
you wouldn't like Tammy back then. I was just a
How
mess.
different were you back then?
I was depressed.
Mm.
I held it together. It was just, they say beer goggles.
Beaver
It
goggles, it's a
yeah,
thing.
the beer goggles. It was
Uh-huh.
like beer goggles, wine goggles, whiskey. It was like any fucking goggles of alcohol that it
Just to
was.
avoid that.
Yeah, just to avoid who I was. I would actually grab for something to drink. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was actually I was going towards slipping towards that end because yeah, I felt really thirsty, not for water, not for any kind of beverage, but for alcohol. So
Mm.
that's what really fucking scared me right there.
Mm. You were like, oh wow.
That was definitely. I mean, the moments I thought I was like, this is getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to really get out of control with this
Yeah,
because
it's getting dangerous.
it really is.
Yeah.
And even after like a couple of years after drinking, when I was moving, I got all these. I had like stacks of birthday cards from well-meaning people, but it's so ingrained in our society about drinking, like it's okay. But all my gross birthday cards symbolize drinking. Everything was about drinking.
No.
Yeah, from family, from friends, and everything. Everything
Mm.
symbolized drinking. I was like, oh, and this is, like I said, it was a couple years after I stopped, and I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just how normalized it is.
how normalized it is in our society that
Yeah.
this is okay. We're good. We're good.
Mm.
I'm like, no, we're not. I was sick. I was very
Yeah.
sick.
Because the suffering usually is always kept behind closed doors, and people associate alcohol with, oh, fun times, social connection,
Hmm.
da 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 da. But no one is counting how much people are drinking, and slowly it's starting to tip into an unhealthy point, and no one knows your relationship with alcohol. No one knows what state you're in when you're actually drinking.
Hmm.
People can assume like, oh, you're fine, you're just having a good time.
And a lot of people thought, you're just fine, you're having a good time. But the only advocate who was at that time I thought was a pain in my ass, but she was my roommate.
Mm.
Shout out to
She was real
Melanie.
with you.
She was very real out to me.
What did she say to you?
Yeah, if you're a fucking asshole, a fucking loser, you're fucking drinking. You're getting
Wow.
out of control.
I feel
And
like that was helpful to you.
she was very helpful for me. A lot of people won't think that she was harsh. No, I needed to hear this.
Mm.
We fought, we talked, we fought, we fussed. It was definitely a lavender marriage. what was well needed, and
Mhm.
we are, we needed that. I needed that in my life because
Yeah.
she was the only one at that time that really just told me that this sucks.
She was looking out for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that she ain't sugarcoat shit or nothing. She's like, this sucks. What you're doing to yourself, you're really destroying yourself, and I don't want to deal with
And
this.
usually people like that are the ones who are punished. Like, why are you up in my business?
And
Da, 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 da.
and a lot of people, actually, a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of other people were like saying to her, "I was like, well, lay off of her. She, she
Yeah,
wants a
like
good time."
let her be.
Exactly. And if it was, and when I got sober, I was a year after I got sober, and I went out for a couple of friends. They were old work friends and other friends, and they were like, you don't drink her anymore. I said, no. I said, that's really good. That's really good. They talked, Melanie. Well,
Hmm.
Melanie was really on you. I said, the funny thing you think about that, Melanie was the only one on me, and I thank her about that.
Yeah, she cared.
No one of you other motherfuckers were on me.
Yeah, yeah.
Was definitely I was killing myself. And at that time people were silent
Hmm.
because I thank her for that.
People often are afraid to go into dark places.
She has
They want to see things that they want to see, and they don't want to dig deeper because they don't know how to even deal with their own stuff. And
yeah.
all of a sudden, they need to be there for you. They'd rather keep it like, just have a good time. What's the problem? Da 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 da.
No, she is one that really she you used to call the friend the friend destroyer, group friend destroyer. That's what
Mm.
she was. She just goes in and just it's like exposing everybody's fucking shadows.
You have this problem. You have that problem.
I don't give a fuck. And she doesn't have to say nothing at times. It's just the way she did her presence and everything come in. I mean, she is very stunning. She's a badass mamma jamma, but she just comes in. It just triggers people, and I'm like, wow, you are really a destroyer of friend groups. I swear to God. And it's like, and I look back at that, start laughing. It's like it's really not her. She's just exposing your fucking shadows.
Yeah,
Um, Deal with it.
yeah, yeah. She doesn't let the status quo to continue.
No,
So
she
that's
doesn't.
good. Yeah,
She's
it's a
one
good
that just
friend to have.
yeah, she is. She is. She
Mhm.
gonna love this.
So if you have a friend like that that is on your butt about something, sometimes it comes from a good place, and don't punish them. They're showing you care.
Well, actually, yeah, don't punish them, but also too, you just sit with yourself for a minute and actually ask, is this a good friend? Is they helping me to build and grow, or they're actually, am I actually stunted? Are they just actually holding me back from something?
Hmm.
Are they being actually genuine? Are they being authentic? It's not here, there for what's going on with you particularly at that moment, but they're just tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey motherfucker, you're not doing good. And that is a good friend. That's a good person to keep in your corner.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I agree. I agree. Now you are tipping into co-regulation because we were talking about what you were doing on your own, and now you are telling me about a person that was helpful to you in getting yourself out of there. And that's where co-regulation in a healthy way is super helpful for people as well. Someone who is looking out for you, someone who's attuned, someone who has your best interest at heart can help us get better, can help us develop self care that maybe we were lacking before. So, friendships like this are extremely meaningful, as you have seen in your own example. I've seen it in my life as well.
Hmm.
Um, Now, let's go a little bit more into co regulation. When you were dysregulated, nervous system wise, you were drinking very heavily. How did it reflect on your relationships?
My relationships are a blur. they
Mm,
were they were a part of me was held back because I didn't want people. That's where the drinking came in. It was definitely a mask. Definitely hiding behind the alcohol. Of course, you did see parts of Tammy who was very caring, and people always, even people said, "Wow, you're very grounded." I Well, thank you. I felt very depressed.
wow.
Felt very, very heaviest energy around me, surrounding me.
Mm,
I didn't feel like I was stepping into my true self at that time. you know, or anything. I felt that a part of myself was very quiet and removed, very small.
Yeah, it's amazing how people don't really know what's going on with you. They can assume or project, but they don't know often.
But it's also too, I think also too in those environments, or pretty much because it was back east. It is Baltimore's a port city, and there's a lot of drinking. A lot of port cities have a lot of drinking, and the atmosphere and everything like that. I mean, the energetically it goes around. And
Mm,
so when if you do show up and you actually blend in with that energy, it's hard to see. It's hard to see the forest through the trees,
yeah.
um, that you are like that. But even when I was actually sober and I got sober there and I started to surround myself with better like-minded people, actually with different activities and stuff like that didn't include drinking.
Hmm.
Amazingly, defined in Baltimore. Didn't involve drinking at all, so it was good towards the end of my stay there, which is good.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of you for making that change.
It was
When I
nice.
first met you, you told me that story. I was like, this is very hard, what she has done. And I think I even told you, I was like, I applaud you for
Why do you think hard?
what? What do you think is hard?
Why do you think it's hard?
Because um, relying on something for so long for regulation, and then all of a sudden that needs to be taken away, I can imagine how it like feels like the earth is leaving your
Mm.
feet for a minute until you build the backbone to be able to be the source of regulation yourself.
That is a good way to think about it. Never thought about the earth is leaving. The
Yeah,
earth
it's
is
like
leaving my
losing
feet.
losing
You-
earth under your feet.
like losing that grounding and stuff like that. It is a very interesting way how to look at that stuff.
Because it wasn't real grounding, really, but it
Hmm.
was a nice mat, like any
It
addiction
was
is.
it was comfortable. It was
Mm-hmm.
very comfortable. And I look back at it, it people say, well, you look back and do you miss it? And I'm all, no. I think when I even I said, let's take my day waking up. I woke up this morning at 5 something in the morning, and I looked at the ceiling and I was grateful.
Mm.
Back then I woke up in the morning, either I had to throw up or I was just in a heavy stupor, or I had a bad headache from a hangover. I was
Suffering.
dehydrated.
Yeah.
Dehydrated. I was just like, oh my God. I was waking up from a very, very bad dream state.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking like, oh shit, I gotta face the day again or something like that. But now I can actually face love what I do. Exactly. And that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
And feel that energy, feel that I can come downstairs and feel I can make breakfast uh for myself, and actually write and journal, take a walk, play with the dogs, and just be about my day. Just the smallest little things. And actually like the day.
Yes.
Which a lot of people,
Be in the day
be in the
and be in
moment,
your own body too.
be in myself and be in my own skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big. That's big. It sounds like you are finally living, actually present, and not running away from life
Mm.
anymore.
It's funny how you said that about the earth, taking the earth from your feet. It's like, shit, never thought of that one.
It seems like that's what it would be. I haven't dealt with addiction. I've had people in my life who have dealt with addiction, and it seems like when you are relying on something so easily accessible, all of a sudden when it's gone, it's like, I mean, I feel like with like smaller things like social media, for example, once you start getting into the loop and you start getting addicted, you delete the app and you're having a craving, like,
Hmm.
what's going on there?
What's going on there?
And you're like, oh my God, this is insane. The brain doesn't really care.
Yeah. It's the same, yeah, because I did smoke too, on and off, since I was a teenager, and stopped, like,
You talking weed?
no,
Cigarettes.
cigarettes.
Oh, cigarettes.
Cigarettes. I stopped around maybe 45, but I was like on and off smoking throughout the
Mm.
years.
Often people, when they drink, they smoke too.
Hmm.
They kind of go
Yeah.
together.
They do go together.
And it's like, well, if I'm self-destructing, might as well.
Let's go for broke. Let's go for
Let's go
broke.
all the way.
You know, the weed thing. It's like that right there was funny too, because I did smoke weed when I was in junior high and high school. But when I got to college, it's like I can't do it because it was like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner thing. But I was a responsible weed smoker.
You still functioned.
I functioned very
Mm-hmm.
well. You know, take a puffs at when I go for when I get to school, go to class, take some puffs, nutrition, and then in lunch puffs, and then before I go home because I had drum lessons, and then I had responsibilities at home. So when I got to college, I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I can't.
Yeah, someone's gotta go.
I can't fucking function like this. I
Yeah.
got I got a I got two jobs. I'm going to school full time. Oh hell no, I can't do this anymore. My weed days were not as fabulous. As I told my cousin, yes, I failed in that area big time. I did. You reigned supreme, my friend. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
I cannot. Some of my the funny things, a lot of my cousins don't think I ever did any dirt, and I was like, oh my god, I did a lot of dirt. I didn't do
You were
much.
just sneaky about it.
I didn't. It was nothing about sneaky. Some of my cousins didn't. They didn't just burn bridges. They moved them the fuck up. So anytime they did some shit that was insane, Tammy was just like, oh shit, that's gonna hurt. They'll probably watch this. If anyone watches, like, motherfucking Tammy. Like, seriously. I mean, I did my dirt, but I was also consistent in doing my other stuff, my other
Yeah,
work.
you were still functioning.
I was functioning.
Your nervous system allowed you to self-destruct, but also function for a while until it couldn't anymore. Sounds like it, right?
It does. It really does. And I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't trade anything in the world for what my journeys where I've been in my journey. I would not because it's been fun. It's been learning. It's been very teachable. It's been yes, it's been hard, but nobody should you just can't skate through life without any scratches, bumps and bruises and coming out unscathed for what it is. It's like, yeah, I'm in recovery and I love being in recovery. You know, I've done my dirt. I've done, no thanks. We don't need to do crack cocaine that of that nature to actually prove a point or anything like that. I think that's one thing society thinks and labels people is like when you do something, you're scarred for like something heinous or whatever the case may be. You're scarred for life. It's like, well, pick a number. Who hasn't? Who isn't the person of substance abuse? Who isn't the
Never.
person who has done who's done horrible acts or blamed horrible acts who just can't really relate to things. But they come out. They come out of it eventually and they're okay.
Yeah.
And I know a couple, I know some people who are addicts in recovery and they're doing just fine. Who are
Humans
alcoholics
are
and that.
resilient like anything else
Mhm.
in nature. I
Yeah.
always look at plants. We had a plant that was eaten by a rat at some point.
Damn.
It was supposed to be like a flower.
Mhm.
A rat ate it. We were like, oh, it looks pretty done, but let's put some water. Let's see. It was just like stumps, just
Mhm.
a couple of them. Next thing you know, there was a light next to it. It started growing and like a vine started going over it. It's huge now, huge and blossoming. And I always think about that analogy, just how resilient nature is. And when I remember that, whatever I'm going through, I'm like, I am a part of nature.
Mhm.
If trees grow after being cut, if that plant blossomed even though rat ate it, we thought it was going to die.
It's funny you mentioned that. I think about the matter of like sidewalks are being taken up by roots and stuff like that. We had a situation here that the water DWP had to come out because the water roots were taking over the water main, and we had to get some trees cut and stuff like that. And no matter what, nature is resilient just as much as, like you said, we are. If we allow ourselves, we will be. it will continue to grow. We
Yeah.
will continue to evolve, just
Yes.
like trees. Like, and I look at the overturned sidewalks because the tree roots are busted up and open. And I keep walking over them when I go to work. I'm like, yep, nature's doing the job. She says,
Yeah.
fuck this sidewalk.
Yeah. I'm
it,
gonna keep growing.
I'm gonna keep growing. I'm still gonna keep going my way
Yeah.
and do things because this is how it needs to go. The things with human beings, it's funny and we are like that.
Mm-hmm.
We can continue to grow if we allow ourselves.
Yes.
If we can, to build and create, but we stop ourselves and we also stop each other.
Yeah. We are back in business,
Hey,
baby.
hey, hey, let's do it.
All right. Our camera overheated. You were dropping some fiery bombs.
Something not explosive, okay?
Bring it on. All right. So we started moving into co-regulation, connection to other people from regulating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you shared a little bit about how you showed up in relationships while you were drinking a lot and disconnected from yourself. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what a healthy co-regulation looks like after your recovery. How has it affected your connection with other people? Because you've been more yourself, you've been more inside of your own body. What did you feel in regards to other people? How different was the experience?
Well, now the lenses are off. I see more in clarity and more grounded. I still am doing the work, and that's the thing people think it's like, oh, everything is rosy and no, you still continually do the work. I was catching up, but as human beings, we should always be working on
I agree.
ourselves.
Yes.
There's a
lot to work on.
and it's not like every day I got to show up like a 9 to 5 job. It's like, well, what do I want to work on? What do I want to do? I've gone to therapy twice and thinking about going back for a third time because there's a block and I want to actually work on that block and develop healthy skills with that block. And that's what therapy is.
Yeah.
Um, and relationships wise, it's like, where can I meet people like-minded?
Mm-hmm.
And even in the game of recovery, it's also too like-minded people because you could be in recovery and great, you can, but we may not have a lot in common. I'm pretty much either I don't do anything else. Some people in recovery, they say it's like I don't drink, but I smoke weed. Well, no, I don't do that. Well, our personalities are not the same or anything like that, and you find people who are like-minded in that, in those arenas. It works for you, and that could be okay. And sometimes it's a challenge because I think as adults, it's a challenge to find people that are to have relationships with,
Yeah. I agree.
who are friends, relationship wise, and when in this stage, I'm not even thinking about beyond relationships because that's a whole new different level that you still have to work on
Yeah.
as well. And they seem very well, but also too more or less on relationship with myself. That is the best thing I can do for me. It's like, where am I? What am I doing? How am I doing?
Yeah.
And have that alone time, and also to be comfortable with myself
Mm-hmm.
before I venture on, and also to connecting with good people, but also my friends. I have old friends here in California that I connect with, and we're still close, and with lots of changes.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still close. But also too, some of them were recovery, which is good.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I'm really like, hey, how's it going? I got 15 years. Get the fuck out. But you're like, you never knew. It's like, oh, I never knew.
Yeah.
I never knew what was going on. And we swap stories. Like, this is something that we don't talk about. We don't discuss. But now we're discussing
Now
it.
you do.
Now
Now there's finally depth and
Yeah.
vulnerability sounds.
There is, and that
Yeah.
it goes with with being sober, but also too with age, and is what we got to lose, but also to having more connection with my family.
Mm-hmm.
That is, defining who I am and where I come from, and go, oh my God, we are all the same.
I see traces of you in
I
me.
I see a lot of, we all have that, like, that side eye, that sigh, and that get up and walk away and say just like this. It's like, you know what, I better go because I want to catch a case, but I always say something that's going to be a little, all right. And it's like, oh my God, we are all the same in some way.
Yeah,
And
it's nice to connect to your roots.
it is nice. It is definitely. And then also, that's the part that actually can just root you further
Yeah,
in yourself
for sure.
and everything around. And actually brings on that calmness too. And it's not, your family can come in many ways. Maybe you don't have it with your family, your original, your bloodline,
Yeah.
or this, find it with people that you have that connection with, that you
feel
are,
like family.
that feel like family. Is you're rooted, that you are, this is good. This is a good feeling.
Yeah.
And stuff. We're not talking. It's not Little House on the Prairie, or we're not the Huxtables and shit like that. We're just,
Connection, just connection.
we're
between people.
we're dysfunctional like crazy, but we do have a lot of love for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it is.
That's nice. I love it. Okay, now let's get to the culture, and on the topic of co-regulation, I wanted to discuss with you some trends that I see in the culture. I've started talking about it on my own channel, but I really want to hear your
I heard you on your. I heard a lot about your channel, and I'm like, woof. Well, and you have excellent points on that channel.
Thank you.
You do.
I'm just starting out, but I see already that it's a discussion that people want to have. That's why I want to have this discussion with you as well. So I wanted to bring this to our viewers' attention, that I've been noticing that in the realm of connection between humans, dating specifically, right? Because that's what usually young people care about, older people, anyone. We all want to connect. So people are seeking relationship advice, and the people that are rising to the top in regards to their advice give very problematic advice that I have so many issues with. We've discussed it a little bit, but I wanted to catch it on tape and invite other people into this conversation, because we have to talk about this epidemic. Now, the only two camps that are rising to the top through the algorithm, through sensationalism, emotional triggering, and so on and so forth, are manosphere and womansphere, or they call it femisphere sometimes.
I didn't know that name. Wow.
Yeah. I've done my research,
Tammy. This is like a hockey game in sudden death overtime.
I've done my research. So main players in those two groups are essentially sharing very similar advice that is often based in control, domination, don't let them play you, play them first type of vibe. And one is a woman, another one is a man, both extremely angry at another camp. And they're creating so much division between people. What are your thoughts about it?
My thoughts, like I said, it's like a hockey game, and I wish my team would win. But I don't. In this case, there's no team I want to win. There's no I in team in this.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. It's together. Men and women need to be together. And I'm a lesbian, okay?
Not just men and women, but couples.
Two people.
Two women, two men. Yeah.
You're right about that. And people need to actually work together with this. But it's like the patriarchy is taking such a backlash now, which is, it's good because the matriarchy is coming up, and women are finding their course, and kicking ass and stuff, and men are being left behind because now women have a script. Women have always kept the script, evolved with their scripts. We are scripts, but men, there's no script. There's nothing in it.
You're talking emotionally specifically?
Yeah, let's think about the emotion component. There's no script for men. There's really nothing. You
Yeah, like how are you supposed to be a man in the world without being a simp or without being
and
an
I
abuser,
and I
right?
think that's the Achilles heel right there for men because they're not supposed to have emotions. They're not supposed to. When we do have both masculine and feminine energy, they can't lean into that, and unless it's with a significant other. And when they do that, it drains the significant other like crazy. They become like their mom. Um, and a lot of women are like,
Or if
no,
it's reversed, a
yeah,
man can become like a dad
dad,
to a woman.
yeah.
She's like allowed to be wild and irresponsible, and he's the one who's carrying everything. It becomes tilted. And from two adults, it becomes parental child type of relating.
It's like a lot of missing things with childhood uh,
Trauma.
trauma and
Yeah.
stuff, and then a lot of people are not really taking care of themselves, not regulating their emotions, their nervous systems, and then dumping it on their partner, saying, "Well, I'm I'm talking, I want to release all this to you. I want to talk to you," where you're kind of just dumping them on them, and you're not really working on your stuff.
Especially if you're not changing and it's just a repeating
It's a repeating cycle, and it
cycle, yeah.
and it wanes and drains on the
Mm.
individual, and it's like it's no side to take. I mean, I see so much on social media that goes against women who don't want men excuse me, who want to just be who want to be single, who want to just doing their thing, and men are just getting angry about that, and
And men, there are
they're
groups that are like, we're done with
done.
women.
They're done with
Yeah.
women, and or just there's a lot of hatred and a lot of anger. Um, there's it's I don't know where this is going with our. I hope we all don't die out.
It's not going in a good direction, Tammy. That's why I
It's
want
not.
to talk about it.
I don't think there's a. I think we just have to wait this out. It's like a good old fashioned Kings versus Pittsburgh Penguins hockey game. I'll take Chicago Blackhawks, and some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. It's they're at the playoffs. We're definitely at the playoffs, and we're gonna see how it happens and what happens there. It's too much tug of war going on with both sides, and it's like we both need to coexist because we need each other. We need each other, and most of all, we need to heal. Men need to heal, and women need to heal. There's a lot of there, and people. So, well, women need to heal too because there's a lot of they're just feeling safe, but also feeling angry.
Yeah.
And where we are, and there's and men feeling angry, unsafe. Is they feel unsafe and they feel angry as well,
Yeah.
and they can't really express that. And how they express it, it feels like it comes out wrong. It really could just really like just on the wrong side of the mouth, or it's just like, well, I was angry. Well, you don't need to hit people when you're angry. You don't need to yell at
Yeah.
people. You don't need to be destructive because you're angry. And then behind that anger is sadness.
It's always, they
Yeah,
always go hand in hand
yeah.
together.
And also too, it's definitely a mix of men and women too, because it's both sides. It's all both sides, and also two genders. A lot of manipulation, and there is one thing,
So much manipulation.
and that is one thing too. On the other side, it's like we talk about the hetero side. There's also the homosexual side. It's
But the
the same sex,
dynamics are very
the
similar,
similar, the
aren't
same
they?
sex side.
Okay, so Tammy, before we got rudely interrupted by our camera,
Damn it!
we were talking about manosphere, women's sphere,
Mm.
and what those camps are prophesizing. And I believe that people who are the biggest figures on both ends are actually severely dysregulated themselves.
There are a lot of there's a couple of them on both sides that are going real hardcore, are very regulated. That this is a cry for help. This you need a hug, you need a puppy, and Jesus. Yes.
When you said that to me the first time, I was like, oh my God.
You just, I mean, there's just nothing to say. You feel sorry for them because they're spouting out a lot of stuff that's wounded.
Wounded.
A lot of wounded.
Guarded, protective.
Guarded, manipulative, destructive on themselves, destructive on others. And it's like, I can feel it. And it's like, this is what's the end game? What is the end game of all of this, what you're doing? And who they're actually reaching out to, because like attracts like.
Yeah.
They're wounded. You're also reaching out to, you're also attracting other wounded people or angry people. And it's just not, and it's like, what's the end game here? Where, women suck and they're just only good for this piece. And men, you just manipulate them. And, that whole nonsense of black cat, I don't know. That, and I'm sorry. I just want to give her a hug, a puppy, and I want to give her some scripture from a black church or something. Just let this woman listen to some black gospel. She needs a black auntie, okay? She needs some. She needs some
straight.
She needs just not to set her straight, but just to like, baby, what happened?
Yeah.
What's going on? Come talk to auntie, because you can't be going around like this manipulating. Well, what good is that gonna do? That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with you in this sense that it is very hateful. There's a lot of wounded people just going, instead of working on what is going on with them, they turn on the camera and they start broadcasting their techniques, the way they maybe deal with toxic relationships. But the very fact that those people think that they have authority to talk about such subjects, like what's driving me nuts, for example, is boundaries, right? There's a lot of, especially in the women's sphere, girl, just set the boundaries. And if you don't respect yourself.
What does that mean, set the boundaries?
Let's talk about science. I always want to bring science into the picture, because we need to cool it with the emotions a little bit and bring a little bit of facts into the equation. Boundaries are not a character trait. They are not a willpower trait. They are not a weakness, the lack of boundaries. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It has to do with nervous system wiring. Some women grew up in households where boundaries and no was not allowed in their vocabulary altogether. They had to abandon themselves to survive whatever family they came from. Their nervous system learned fighting for yourself means death. You can be abandoned if you do that. Instead of yes, and instead of no, you need to say yes, even though you feel no. And it gets wired into your system. I have to repeat that. It gets wired into your system. And next thing you know, she goes into the world, meets with a man, most likely abusive man. She wants to say no, but her body says yes, because it's been taught to say yes.
Never say no. And that can go in so many ways with it, because like you brought it up, it's like the flight, as we're used to. But this came up this week, not to interrupt you, but fawn and freeze in conversation with a certain event that happened this week. And it was definitely it's looking upon a freeze about women in trauma. And
it's the most judged and misunderstood state, both of them, freeze and fawn.
Yeah, freeze and fawn. No one talks about that. A colleague of mine were talking about that at work, that we never talk about these things in the outside society. And this is when women can't they say, please leave me alone, and the man takes that rejection as bad, and it keeps pressuring. She goes into it's always fawn, but she goes into freeze when she keeps pushing. He keeps pushing the issue. And that right there is, and then the voice raises, the posturing starts going. I've seen this myself.
Danger. It's very unsafe.
I've seen that myself.
Yeah.
And I told you a couple months ago, my cousin intervened at the restaurant. With the guy, and because the girl was feeling uneasy, and we felt it. at the table. And my cousin just got up and said, "My man," she said no. And he kind of leaned into him.
It
and
was
said,
about the situation when a guy was coming up to the girl and he was trying to get her number, was it? He was
he
like coming
was,
at her.
no, they were a couple. They were a couple. They're sitting there and
They
she,
were a couple.
yeah. And he said, I think they were on a date. And she said no to something. And he kept
Ah.
pressuring her and it kept posturing. The voice started to raise. And
Mm.
his hand went like on the table like this.
Mm.
And she jumped. And that was
Mm.
like, all right, this is enough.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad from, my cousin stood up and said, my man, my guy, this is not working. She said
Mm-hmm.
no. And he started to posture my cousin. And my cousin, just, no, this is definitely not working. So the manager came out and said, okay, what's going on? And people at the table, another table said, well, he's not taking no for an answer. And that took it to a extreme. It's like, okay, not to them to go, but maybe he needs to leave. Or can we help you out? Which I'm glad the manager did this. Can we help you out, miss, to get out of the situation? And that's was the good thing about it.
It's like a tribe came together
A
for
tribe
her.
came
But
together for
imagine
her.
without it.
Yeah. And sometimes it does happen
Yeah.
without it. Used to happen like that. Now I think it's getting word that now this is not acceptable behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is looking like a DV situation. When you
Yeah.
look at other signs, this is looking real DV here.
I
And you don't
know.
want to take that. It may not be, but we don't want to take that chance.
Yes.
So we gotta come together as a tribe and say this is unacceptable. Now in reverse, it could happen to a man in some ways.
Yeah.
That maybe in a way that a man may be accused of something, and it happened recently that a young man was accused of something,
Mm.
and and we just no proof.
Mm.
There may be proof, and may not be proof, but that person's life is put on pause and maybe going through a descent of disarray
Yeah.
because of another individual who accused this person of this.
Yeah.
And it can happen in both ways.
Yeah.
It can.
Again, it's not about male versus female. It's
Female.
about one nervous system interacting with another.
Exactly. Yeah? And I think what happened with that is it was a fawn in the free situation.
She was quiet. She tried to be like non-threatening so that he calms down, and then she just shut down. Sounds like it.
And it seems like teen they're 19. Yeah, I still say kids. But it's still viewed as like, yes, these things could have happened, but we don't know all the facts, because I also think a lot of, because how we are trained as women to not speak up, to feel small, and as men not to take no for an answer, or not to pick up on the cues that woman is not feeling safe right now. You may be a great guy, but he can't pick up on that because he's not really trained to pick up on that.
Sure.
And a lot of people may be like, fuck you, you're wrong. It's like, I'm just saying, let's look at another point of view.
Yes.
But both sides, we have a lot of unlearning to do. We're starting to get clues, and things are starting to look. I see the signs that, yeah, men are really picking up and saying, no, we're not doing this anymore. And women are saying no, because women have to take care of we have to take care of our camp too, because there are some that are somewhere, a little bit toxic there, and men have got their toxic there. Yeah. We got to take care of our camp. Accountability, our camps. But it's one of those things that we have to, instead of jumping the gun and taking sides, we have to stop, pause, and look at the whole big picture of it.
Yes, I think it's a beautiful, balanced approach that you are proposing. I fully agree. And that's why when someone jumps online and starts, yes, they do validate the anger, right? That's why they're growing so big, because people on both sides are extremely frustrated. A lot of people have been hurt really badly, men and women. They get disillusioned. They stop believing in connection. They stop believing in love, and they say, I need to protect myself. Oh, this person seems to be teaching me how to protect myself against this crazy world of dating, but they are not creating more connection for people. They're creating more division. That's the issue I have with those camps.
You are right. They, you know, actually, you are right about that. But it's going to take some time for that to get to the point. But I think we're moving into the right direction.
I think it's going to take also conversations that are actually based in something other than just charged up emotions.
A lot of, you are right. But I know I'm saying a lot, but it's also emotional. Emotional regulations need to be, but a lot of people don't have. I think a lot of people are missing one key component. They don't have a lot of self worth.
Mm.
There's a lot there. That's the one thing that stops everybody. I don't feel worthy. I don't care how much bark you have. I'm not I don't care what the fuck you a mouse or you a tiger or you want to be. You don't have you question your worth. And
Yeah,
your
that's
worth,
why such a show.
yeah, it's like a show.
Hmm.
It's like it's the outer how you present yourself. Um, I look put together. I have whatever, how much money or whatever the case may
Hmm.
be. But at the end of the day, it's your self worth. And I think that's what people ask themselves every day: Am I worthy for this? Am I worthy to go out? And I'll try, but when they get shot down, like on a dating app a couple times or swipe 200 times on the dating app. Whatever, dude. uh, for coffee. You better one up on the coffee. Anyway,
Yeah.
and do I feel worthy of this? Do I feel worthy of this person? And also too when they get mad and where does that it's not that instant, it's anger, but it's also sadness.
Hmm.
It's sadness before the anger. You just gotta switch the two.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it sucks. A lot of people, those people, and also too, let's take this for example for like a person who actually they go on a date and the date didn't show up or they just ghost them. Just they are pretty much asking about they deep down inside they're asking themselves, are they worthy? As much as
Yeah,
they
like what's
asking,
wrong with me?
yeah, what's wrong with
Hmm.
me? Or instead of, saying, what, I don't think this is going to work. Because the same shit we do on dating apps, the same shit you're doing on that job interview. I don't want to do the job. It's like, well, maybe I don't feel worthy. Or maybe I just don't want to show up. I don't want to show up right now. But deep down inside, maybe I don't feel worthy. Maybe I'm scared. Maybe I just don't want to do this. But just, you don't have to show up to the date, but just show up in accountability. Just tell the person, you know what, I don't think this is a good idea. I'm fairly sorry. And I don't want a job. I thought the job was going to be a good idea, a good fit, and I turn around hours later, a couple of days later, I'm like, fuck, I got that interview. I don't really want to do it. I'll go, you know what? All right, I wrote a fucking long paragraph to this place and say, and I got the job. Excuse me, I am so sorry, but I don't think this is going to be a good fit. And the woman said, well, thank you very much. We never got this kind of response before. I think that's the best way to show up in life is that just tell the person that I'm not, I don't think this is going to work. I don't really feel like it is.
Yeah.
How they take it, it's up to them.
Hmm.
But at least if you showed up and said, "Hey, I don't think this is going to work," or you had a couple of dates and they keep, they want to go out for another date and it's like, "I don't think this is going to work." And I thank you so much. Thank you for the experience. I appreciate if a person actually do it. Maybe some people won't because it wounds them. They're already wounded, and that's something they have to work on.
Yeah.
But it's also too an opportunity for them to work on that wound.
It sounds lovely, but many people who are fast to just start spreading hate, they externalize the problems all the time.
I
You
know.
know that. They don't take responsibility. They don't sit down and ground into the grass and say, why am I so angry?
I
Why do I only feel safe when I dominate another person? They don't sit down and ask that. They say, you know what? Let me create a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel, and I'm going to teach other women how to be an ice queen, unbothered boss ass bitch.
I have to say you are absolutely right, and I also see this is part of that person's journey. This is part
Fair
of
enough.
And they, oh, hold on, don't dismiss them yet. Don't cut it off yet. Okay, don't cut me off yet. Those like, well, fair enough. I'm like, well, damn.
No, I'm saying yes, it's legit. Continue.
It is. No, I got you on that. It's like, fair enough. But honestly, I think it's part of that person's journey. It's like, here's a nugget. Here's a golden nugget. And there are times, I mean, I got shot down. I got refused. I got, turned down for a job, or if I like somebody, I got turned down. Then that's fine. It was hurtful, but it was also too an opportunity for me to grow. Sometimes it took me a while to understand it, but still it was an opportunity for me to grow. And I appreciate that growth. And if I still harbor on that stuff, and we can go down that lovely magical road. Let's say if I go on this fucking fuck it road, and it's a fuck it road. I know she gonna bleep everything out of this. It is. I say no, and I go on this crusade to just demolish and manipulate and go and tell.
That's not your wiring.
That's not my wiring.
It's hard for you to imagine that, but when it's someone's wiring, they can't imagine your road.
Right, but I'm just, for example, this is an example. It's like a SAT question.
Yeah.
If I go like that effort road and just start doing spoutful, like this is how you get them back, and this is how you do this and do this and do this. I'm looking at this, and if I sell how many courses and whatever I do, imagine, oh wow, you're doing an exterior, I'm doing good.
Yeah. That's what's so confusing.
Now the internal piece, that's the meat and potatoes right there.
Yeah.
How am I fucking doing? My heart chakra's all fucked up. It is. It's going right down everything. My throat chakra, my heart chakra, everything. My third eye, it's my solar plexus, I shake my root, everything. Because I'm out of survival. This is how I'm surviving. Everything. Yeah. But if I even, oh my God, in my relationship, am I playing games in my relationship? How much is that a kerfuffle? How much is that? Is that intimacy, or those are games?
Yeah, it sounds like they're only selling games, and games prevent intimacy.
Yeah, but games on the exterior and games on the internal. So I'm selling games to people, millions of people, but I'm also playing games in my own home.
Yeah.
So this is some fucked up shit.
I know.
You are the ultimate politician right now.
There's a lot of different layers.
/ used car salesman.
Yeah. No, it's very true. It's very true.
That's where right there is very sad. It's very hard. That's very wounding. That's that wounding. So I'm spreading all of this information, not just information, but also all of this energy.
And they get validated for that energy because the algorithms love that, because they trigger people emotionally. People engage, they get pushed to the top. They think to themselves, wow, I'm making so much money now. My message must be resonating. The message does resonate, but there's no solution. There's no solution to the problem.
There's no, that's why I always ask, what's the end game?
Yeah.
Not the Avengers movie, but what is the end game here?
I was just talking to Tammy offline, and she said a really funny thing that I would like to get on camera. So Tammy, you've said that to me many times before, and every time I was like, oh my God, I wish people could hear that. So
I'm pretty sure it's out there in the universe, and especially in this manosphere. It's really sad. Yeah. From the top ones that are actually doing this, this charge over women, I think there are some deep rooted homosexual eroticism going on there. They are gay.
You think they're closeted?
I think they're on the DL. I really think they are.
I just think they should come out and live a happy life.
I think they're too angry to. I mean, they want to say, I dominate and hate me. It's like the wrestler or the jock in high school. I love women. I get punani. I get that. And then 6 years later, after high school, he's gay, living on a farm with his husband.
Happy, though.
Happy, raising sheep.
think it's time because I don't want more women to suffer from the hands of those men.
I don't want women to suffer either, but I also think both parties are suffering.
Mm.
I think also too, like attracts like. Nervous systems attract tragic nervous systems attract tragic nervous systems.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think they can actually learn from one another if they choose. Allow themselves. Like, why do I keep attracting this? Why am I so angry? Why am I so angry? It's all men. It's all women. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, where are you in the mix? Because it's not all women. It's not all men. There's a few out there that's like, whoo, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to come to the why are you the common you're the common denominator of this fiasco, this whirlwind that's going
Yeah,
around.
just not enough accountability being taken for
No.
your own nervous system and what has happened to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're fast to blame everyone else. And before self-regulation, they jump straight into co-regulation, but two dysregulated nervous systems cannot build connection.
No. But everybody wants it's the trauma wound.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you understand me, you get me. And to a certain point when the shoe drops off the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when everything, the party gets started.
Yeah.
And that's when people start to pull away. But also too, where do you go back to? Do you go back to the blaming, or do you go to the accountability piece?
Yeah.
What am I learning, and how am I attracting this individual?
Mm-hmm.
And what do I need to work on myself? And that's just to give that opportunity for that person. And why is this happening? Well, let's slow it down. Why do you keep attracting this person? Do you think you have anything to do with it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to happen again and again and again.
Yes,
unless
definitely
you
a pattern
unless you actually do something about it.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of pity those guys because I understand, because they dress really nice.
You're like, you're dressed too nice.
You too greasy and oiled up and everything for a reason, dude.
All right. How long do you think it's gonna take
For the what? For the
them to come out?
greasiness and the oiliness stuff.
For them to come out.
Only Father Time knows that. I mean, to tell you the truth, because you can only play that game for so long.
Yeah.
You can only if there's a slip, and wink wink, in any way, or somebody's gonna start singing. But also too, it's no way to live if you are, but also too, they, if they do, they have a lot of accountability to take. I'm responsible for all my crazy shit I've been spouting out in Interland
all the
land,
people they hurt too.
and how much of a destructive force I've been. That's a lot of shit. And it depends. Am I measuring up from the average serial killer, or fucking Hitler or Mussolini here?
I know.
Where's the level here that am I measuring up to when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to all of my shenanigans
Mm-hmm.
and doing that? Am I being beneficial to the world society, or am I just tearing it down more and more
Yeah.
of my crazy shit?
That's a good metric to see whether or not you're actually doing something worthy. Like, it might seem for people like they're doing something good, but if the overall influence is so negative, something to rethink, right?
It is something to rethink. It is, because I don't know how I mean, I think back in my drinking days, how I got up every morning, it hurt.
Mm.
When I think back, imagine having all of that anger
Yeah,
and
non-stop anger.
and shenanigans and
Well,
plot.
they're living in sympathetic activation. That's
Yeah.
a really hard place to live from. You're
It's
always wired up. You're always like looking for the outside target.
it's like somebody living a borderline personality disorder, going, "Hey, well, I wake up. What can I destroy in my day and fuck up somebody else's in the same time?"
Yeah. That's
how it is.
That's fight wired people. They are always ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Always someone else is out there to get them, and they need to assert their dominance before someone crashes them. That's their philosophy.
It's a really sad. You kind of go, man, this is rough, and also too, it's gotta be fucking exhausting. because I'm just exhausted even thinking about these motherfuckers, to be honest with you. But it's but this whole the topic that we talking about is about the men and women that are just at each other. It's the sudden, let's just call it like it is. It is a sudden death overtime game, um, a hockey game, and it's like you, when is it going to end? We don't know. It's at a stalemate. But I think there seems to be some cracks that people are going like, you know, we need to make some changes. I see it on women, I see it on men, and everybody's making changes.
Yeah.
Little by little, and which I see on social media, and that's nice that you know, men are standing up and doing things for women and the women in their lives, and women are standing up and really, you know, really loving men and taking accountability too, and also for themselves. And that's not everybody, you know. You still got some out there that are doing, you know, they're hootenanny, but
Tell me your words.
Not mine. Hootenanny is a good one. The Hootenanny has always been said. There's a dog named Hootenanny. I know that for sure.
Hootenanny, that's such a cute name. That's funny.
But I think I have faith in both genders. And I've had faith in the human race that we will. We're okay. We're gonna be all right. As the movie is, the kids are all right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure God's saying, shit, the kids are all right.
I think conversations like this is what is going to bring people out of that isolation from the opposite camp, and just, it's easy to pick up the camera and spew stuff about men when there's no men in the room.
Right.
And vice versa, right?
Right.
You're in your bubble talking to other women, or the guys are talking to other men, and there's no other side to counteract that, to even say like, no, that actually doesn't work. I showed a couple of videos to my husband from a very popular person in that sphere. He looked at it and he was like, this is insane. This would alienate any normal man.
The one that you showed me, yes.
Yeah.
The one you showed, yeah. Yeah. That's my diagnosis, and I'm just gonna write it out. You need a puppy, you need a hug, and you need Jesus.
Amen.
And you need, you know, we can mix that up too. You know, we're gonna have to send you something. We're gonna send you a black auntie. She's gonna talk to you. She's gonna give you a hug. So you got a 2-for-1 deal. And then she's gonna give you, she'll give you a book of Bible verses. She's gonna play some Kirk Franklin gospel for you, and you're gonna be, you're gonna cry a little bit. She's gonna tell you about your shit because it's not working.
Well, tears can be a portal to healing.
She may have a little puppy with her to go. You may get a rib dinner on the side, because you're hungry.
Now we're talking.
But you need some. There's a lot of gaps with the wounded. It really is with that one. And I was, where do you begin? I remember you showed me. I'm like, oh shit, where do I begin?
Yeah.
And when I showed the video, I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. This is woo. I just want to reach out, baby. What happened to you? You need a hug. You need a hug.
Yeah.
You need Jesus. And a puppy. That's what I'm saying. So
I agree.
I mean, you just, and that's one of those things about women. It's about that particular person. It's like, come on, baby. It can't be that bad. But you're actually you're also working out of your wounded, and actually grabbing and attracting other wounded women, and then y'all wounded, and keep keying on the side. Yeah, girl, this right. Yeah. Play these games. Yeah. Keep him isolated. Yeah, this is how a relationship go. That's not how a relationship should go.
No.
That's not how you. That's not a relationship. That's War of the Roses, and they just redid that movie. And that sounds like you're just one-upping a motherfucker. That's always, and
each and every time, yeah.
And then you try to save face in public, but inside you both are just tearing each other down. That is not a relationship. There's nothing loving about this.
It's not sustainable either.
It's not. It really isn't. And I pity that person because she was probably hurt. in a day,
It
and
shows, yeah.
it really
She's
shows.
still fighting that hurt and trying to protect herself. And I understand other women from hurt like that, but that's not how you go about it.
It's not how you go about it, but it's also too, and like we talked about, is that analogy is like, you could have all the social media followers, and you have the coaching courses, and you're doing good, 6 figure, 7 figure, and you're doing great, but inside what you're selling and what you're building and creating is just a huge giant lie,
Mm.
to yourself and others. And that's you're just tearing people down, and actually, uh and probably externally you're torn down, and God knows how your relationship is probably torn down too.
You'll never know about their personal relationships
Um,
because that's usually a big secret of what's going on, unless there's some scandal that comes out.
I don't know, fruits in the pudding, that shit just TikTok. But you don't want to know that. It's like,
Yes, yes,
I'm just
yes.
gonna say, baby, what happened? Let's give you a hug. Let's get you some, girl, let's get you some therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
And a chicken dinner.
Speaking of chicken and speaking of dinner, you once made a great analogy how some relationships feel like different types of food after you interact with the person. You said some people feel like a three-course meal. You come out full, nourished,
Mm,
fulfilled,
yeah,
and other people feel like
feel like shit. No,
no,
they feel empty. They feel,
no. You gave me a great analogy. Hot pocket.
oh, they give you a hot pocket. Oh yes, the hot pocket. The okay, folks. And honestly, everybody can do this. When you actually get with analogy, when you get with your good friends, and you guys go out, and you time just never stops. You keep the flowing going, and yeah, there's good food going and stuff like that. But it's not just that. But you come out of those conversations and those encounters like a full meal, and that's not just eating food. It's just like everything's just enriched, and the conversations, the company you keep, the energy is flowing. And there's some conversations and dinners that you're like, this is a sad ass hot pocket meal. It's not even the fucking pepperoni pocket meal. It's a hot pocket meal with the extra cheese. This is the ham and cheese with little broccoli specks. This is some bullshit hot pocket meal. That's where it gets interesting. And it's like and that's why I keep it in my head when it be like, all right, I want to eat. I never eat with anybody. My rule is never to eat with anybody you don't like or you have a disagreement with, because energetically in your nervous system,
Nervous system wise,
it's
for
it's
sure.
just not good.
You don't feel safe.
You don't feel
Yeah.
safe. I don't like you.
You can't even digest food unless you feel safe.
You fucking up this $80 lamb meal. I am not having this. And also too, when the back of my head is, as because I think about this as a college student, because every college student thrives on hot pocket, and they go to that grocery store and they woke the god pepperoni's still there because they don't want that janky ass ham and cheese bullshit. That's what that sometimes those meals are like. They're like, this is some bullshit. I don't want that. I want pepper. This is like I want my pepperoni hot pocket if I'm going to sit here and have that, but it's not. No, it is. I stand by that each time. No, but you with anything, your relationship should be enriching. It should be good. No one should embark on sitting with people that they just don't like or they don't jive with.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to say, it's like, oh, I really don't like your ass. I told my good friend I love him, 30 years. We've known each other. I told him, and I've been like, it was just like, I don't know how to say this. I love him. We're still friends, but we've friends drift apart. It's
Yeah.
like there's a season for everything. But anything you called up, yeah, I'm there for you. I still love you, and vice versa. But his wife, I don't like.
Mm.
I don't like. She's controlling. She's a drain. She's frustrating. Energetically, she's all over the damn place, and she's also mean.
Mm.
Mean and always complaining,
Mm-hmm.
always nitpicking and shit. And I finally,
Not a happy person.
she's not a happy person, and she brings it on herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him one time, he kept pushing the point about that, and I was like, yo, man, I love you, and I love to see you, but I don't want to see his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, why? Well, I said, honestly, not a fan of her. She's very frustrating. And he paused. He goes, well, that's my wife. I said, I understand. You love her.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to see her.
You're like, but I'm not sleeping with her, so.
That's right. I don't
What
want
am
to
I
see
supposed to do
her.
with her?
I don't want, you can do that. You have that,
You're
But
getting something out of it. I'm getting nothing.
not a damn thing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's like, I think we as society, it's always taught us to be the bigger person.
Oh yeah, I
You
wanted to
remember
bring
that
that
shit?
up.
We talked about that.
Yes.
Be the bigger motherfucker. I hate that saying. You be the bigger. You tell me that much. You push me on the edge. I slap the shit out of somebody, and I'll be the bigger person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also had one that people always say too. That kind of gives you the.
That's the way I am. That's
Yes.
the one. Yeah, yeah. I guess that's just the way I am. Breathe. Breathe. That's a great excuse to never change anything about yourself, right?
It is.
How convenient. That's just the way I am.
That's just the way I am.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna even give it a try. This is just the way I am. So you just gonna give up, never try to do any kind of changes or kind of evolve or build up. That's how you are. Okay.
Yeah. Got
All
it.
right.
Noted. And that bigger person thing is really actually destructive for freeze and fawn people, especially women, because they're like, they give people endless chances. People wipe their feet on them, they use them, they mistreat them, and they're always being the bigger person until they lose themselves.
Well, that's the thing. It is because we were taught to say, "Well, be the bigger person." No, no. What my petty want to come in now.
Yeah.
Petty want to come in. You know how many? There's so many. There's 7 days out of the week. It just picks what day of the week on pick, and that petty comes out. So petty. Oh, this happened on Thursday. Oh shit, Thursday. It's Thursday. Why? It's Punch Throat Thursday. Oh, don't let we know what happens to Friday. Fuck around and find out Friday. Don't let it get set it off Saturday because that's that right there's a wild card. And I don't even bother with people because it's Sunday. Don't start no shit Sunday. And then no. Then we start the petty game, and then we start the petty game again. When you say be the bigger person Monday, no, bitch, it's move bitch Monday. I'm not doing this every time. Don't get me to test me Tuesday. No, people take that stuff. I don't like that. Be the bigger person. Every time people say I just be that person to come on, help out. No, my petty want to come right into that, and I want to be petty because I don't, and that's when my petty comes in. It's like, let me tell you why I'm being petty right now, and that really tells people like I need to back off because I'm being petty for a reason. So stop nagging me about this.
I wouldn't even call it petty. I know how you mean it. I know exactly what you mean, but being the bigger person is only applicable in certain situations, but not in chronic self-abandonment, because then it just becomes another one. Just abandon yourself one more time.
Just abandon yourself one time.
Just one more time.
You know what that's also a guy's up to? Oh, be the team player, why don't you? It's like, yeah. Oh, that one. That's when I just get up and just leave the room.
All right. We're coming to an end.
This is wonderful adventure.
This was lovely. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe eventually we might have another guest in the studio to discuss things, to have these conversations that need to be happening right now in our culture for healing, for connection, because that's what we want. At least that's what we want, right?
Yes, I think a lot of people do. But it's also too when it's nice to have a meeting of the minds and also a nice think tank to actually get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do have faith in humanity.
I do too.
I do.
I do too. There's a lot of good people, but many of them I think are in freeze right now. They're immobilized. They have great deep ideas, but their body doesn't even feel safe to move to get those ideas out. I speak from experience because I've been there before, and if you have ideas, you should slowly start getting them out there, because the loud fight or flight voices are dominating the sphere right now. They are very productive. There's a lot of output. That's why it seems like they're so loud, because they're creating several videos a day, while people with great ideas are sitting and thinking, should I post? Should I think? Am I ready? Da da da. You should post. You should talk about this. You should share your opinion, because the silent majority is sane.
I think it's one thing is where people want to show up, be the authentic themselves. The ones that are screaming the loudest, I think they have every right to get it out. But I also look at it as I have a thing. I put people on client mode. I'm treat you like a client. And when I'm nodding my head and stuff, and the back of my head, I'm thinking like three, two, one, and I let them present and everything, and let them be loud. And three, two, one, and that's when I will present and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes you just have to let people just need to get it out, whatever they're going through. We may agree or disagree,
Mm-hmm.
but you just got to get it out. But you also too, this is an opportunity for you. It's not about who's right, who's wrong, and how what why do you think this way, and why are you saying this. I think it's a process that people have to actually learn how to see what's going on with them, because we all it's a platform, everybody's on the platform, we all have an opportunity to learn from each other and swap ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and understand and hear, what do you think. You may take it with you, or or say it resonates with me, or it may stick with you, and later on you pull it out of your hat and go, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, this was like 3 years ago. Okay, it
Mm-hmm.
was on point. And that's okay, and that's really okay. It's not because we're also too fighting like I have to be heard and I want to be right, and it's like you don't have to be. You're heard, but you don't have to be right. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we'll still hug you and bring that puppy and bring that Bible, because
I'm not so much about who's right and who's wrong. I just want to get to the truth and
mm,
the bottom of the problem.
you're right. But what if they already know the truth and it scares the shit out of them?
I don't think they fully let the truth land in their body. I think in survival, you can't even register. It can't even register with you.
But you remember you told me it's when about my sobriety, it feels like the earth is being pulled out of my
Mm-hmm.
feet, which I think is a great analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I think with them, I think people do. They know when they feel the earthquake or when the earth is being pulled out. They know when. That's why they fight so hard
Mm.
to hold on to that security of that what could be anger, which could be that truth that they know they think it's truth, and also that's a part of their identity. It's a
Mm-hmm.
part of their belief. And this is what I believe, and this is my identity, and I fight for it. And it's like, well, if you think it's yours, you wouldn't have to fight for it so much. Be
Yeah.
that bitch, let it be yours. We don't care. Just like gay people don't. That's why gay people are so happy. We're just let it be free because we'll fight. Yes, fought for it, still fighting for it, are who we are. And yeah, we will. Just like people of color, this is my identity. And people who try to strip that down, they have the hardest time on try to like stress the point of their religion or their beliefs and everything like that. uh, and you don't have to fight that hard if you believe in it. You really don't. But if you're trying to get your message like hate across, that means you don't really believe in this shit. You
That's
really,
an interesting point.
you really don't. You really having a hard time with your foundations and your ideology and your
Yeah.
belief.
It feels like they are fighting with themselves.
They are.
Yeah.
You really trying to get this message across because you're on the dollar for donuts. You don't really believe in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's you fear things that you don't understand. You fear things that you're losing hold and control over.
Mm-hmm.
That is something, but
Mm-hmm.
that's something that and that's another thing I guess we'll talk about too, the next saga, that about different people of culture and race,
Mm.
that some are afraid to actually sit and share the damn table with
Mm.
other people of race, sexual orientation, and religion, and we're all in the same boat. Some of us just don't know it yet.
People focus on all the wrong things, and that's what makes so much division. But when you look to the bottom of things, you have a nervous system, so do I.
Mm-hmm.
And my nervous system feels safe next to you, and yours feels safe next to mine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters.
That's the only thing that matters.
That's the only thing that matters for connection. Nothing else matters. Our age, skin color, even backgrounds. I come from Kazakhstan. You're from America.
Mm-hmm.
We connect and we see eye to eye on many things. So people should start focusing on the deeper levels.
I think they can. I mean, it has. I mean, you do see it, and you do see. I've seen it throughout my years on this planet, and you have. I think it's a lot of fear, a lot of disbelief, a lot of fear, and a lot of wanting to belong,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of really terrible ideologies out there, and just it is a lot of. I just want. I want to control and dominate.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever. It sounds exhausting. Really sounds exhausting to wake up all day and just be this person on this mission.
They feel like they have no choice. Just like you wake up with your nervous system going into specific survival mode on default, theirs goes into that default.
Mm-hmm.
It's just their nervous system is much more glorified and accepted by society, because usually nervous systems like that create wealth through domination. They are obsessed with status. They usually do climb higher.
Would you say that's actually changing though?
I really hope it's changing, because people are wanting to see something different.
I think it's changing.
I really hope so.
Mm,
Yeah.
would you like to? Would you? Can we make a bet on YouTube?
No, I actually don't want to bet against you, because I want to believe that's true, and I want that to be happening,
Yeah.
because I'm tired of seeing role models that are no role models at all.
Mm-hmm.
You look at their professional success, yes, maybe great. Okay, I don't know how. Some people reach their success with very questionable means, by domination, exploitation, whatever. But you look at their personal life and it's all in shambles, and I'm always like, how's that success? I don't get it.
A lot of people, but it can only go for so long, and it wears them down.
Mm-hmm.
I had a coworker. She's put together, top tier, top put together, bad mama jamma. But her professional life was on point. But her personal life was a fucking train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
It was a train wreck. I love her, but it was a train wreck. But that was okay. She's got, as age, yeah, it does spin out of control. It does spiral out of control. And she's doing better because she realized, like, I got to get my shit together. Yeah, she had to balance out her personal or professional and her personal life. Because you can't just hang it out in the air and wave it like you just don't care for so long.
You can't.
You just can't. It will backfire. It will come back. It's like, this is not working. We're not healthy. Just like mine, I couldn't be the stable, coming as the functional alcoholic. I can only do that for so long. It spiraled out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, everything has repercussions.
Yeah. So I think with people like this, they can only do so much for so long.
I wanted to invite other people into the conversation as well. This is new. We're not professionals, but we want to talk about this. And if this sounds interesting, engage. Obviously, be respectful in the comments, but we want to hear your perspective on these things. What do you think about these relationship, dating, camps? What do you feel is the new solution towards moving into the new dynamics? What do you use for self-regulation and connection with other people? We want to hear about it.
Also do just engage with the community, which is a fun thing, and actually hear what you guys, because input is very, very important. And I see, hey, what you got to say. I would love to hear what you have to say on these comments, and I mean on these topics and everything, because they're very important. And we also have to come to a balance, because it seems like it's a huge tug of war. Like I said, it's like sudden death overtime hockey game, and it's not getting anywhere, and it's very concerning. So please leave some good comments. Love to hear from you.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, whatever it is that people need to do to stay in the loop. If these conversations sound interesting, we're going to keep trying to create more episodes and bring more to your attention about what's going on and our opinion on it and hear your opinion about it.
Yeah.
So let's exchange, let's connect.
Let's get started. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. And thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.